Hello everyone and welcome to Final Show. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I've just got a few pre-show notes for you. First of all, I want to let everybody know that our addresses have changed. Our Twitch channel has changed from Senstaku to twitch.tv/FinalShowFilms, and our YouTube channel has also changed to youtube.com/FinalShowFilms. Next, we want to thank our $20 tier supporters on Patreon, which is patreon.com/FFilms, by the way, if you want to go throw a couple bucks our way. That's going to be Cat, Waterflame, Antitonic, Samantha Bates, and Maureen Montee. Thank you guys for that. Also, our website is in the process of getting updated, so go take a look at finalshowfilms.com. We've got Mara and Jeremy are working on updating all of our stuff there, making it look nice and like a modern website, and frankly, they know what they're doing far better than I or Austin ever did. So if you want to check out the things that are changing over there, you go do that. Follow us on Twitter at Final Show Films for updates for all future things, including things that are going on with our website and going on with the Patreon page, and things that are going on live as we stream them, as well as our podcasts and everything else. So thank you very much for watching. Y'all have a good day.
In pick 2.
And we're live. So.
Hello, everyone. I am William, and I am the storyteller for this New World of Darkness Hunt of the Vigil campaign. And joining me today, we have a number of players, starting with Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. Who the fuck am I playing?
Nina Sky.
That's right, Nina Sky, Union Rockstar, which always sounds weird to say.
Union Rockstar?
Rockstars don't have a union.
They don't need one.
No, they're
They
fucking rockstars.
Rockstars.
Is there no musicians union?
I mean,
I'm sure there's
a
something.
Songwriters union.
Yeah, there's some, but Rockstar isn't really the kind of professional label that can acquire a union.
I belong to the LA 101st Rockstars Union.
So that's how Greg got paid lots of money in Steven Universe.
Yeah.
And Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Eamon Mulcahy, member of the Malleus Maleficarum and the other Irish murder hobo.
And John.
I'm John, and I'm playing Sean Mulcahy of the Malleus Maleficarum, and I will not be doing the accent because I have recently been both in a car accident, had a sinus infection, and just had my entire physical body in pain and injury for a while. So
That's also why he doesn't have any hair.
No, it has nothing to do. No, I don't have any hair because I donated it to Wigs for Kids because.
Stop ruining the image, the illusion.
You donated it after it got chopped off in the car accident.
I feel like it's better to say that I walked away from the car accident with minimal bruising and cuts and then donated my hair than to say I donated my hair because it got messed up in the car accident, because it didn't, because my hair is awesome and will make some kid a great wig.
And Holly.
I'm Holly. I'm playing Astrid, Ashwin, Knights of St. Adrian.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I am playing Drew, the Lucifuge.
Yep.
And has anyone else noticed that Malleus Maleficarum sounds like it should be the demon one, and Lucifuge sounds like it should be the religious one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's sort of
and
emblematic
Craig.
of their different approaches.
Hi, I'm Craig. I'm playing Paul Spanner Phillips, the Aegis Kaiduru acquisitions expert.
And sorry for missing a couple of weeks. There was a week where a bunch of people were sick, and then a week where I was sick and some people were in car accidents. So
2019 is trying to fucking murder everybody. I swear to God.
Not
You
wrong.
heard it here first. Bill Maher did not predict this.
I mean, if you want, I can post pictures of my car accident on Twitter. It's actually kind of awesome to think about.
But when last we left off, 2 weeks ago, the group had survived a siege overnight from some mysterious creatures hidden within the mists that surrounded the Nina's hideout after Colleen had their new acquisition. Colleen had fallen asleep and apparently caused these monstrous creatures to emerge from somewhere during her dreams, or her nightmares more specifically, after which they were visited by a mage by the name of Brother Kindness, who offered to provide a little bit of information and history on Colleen and her origins. While part of the group decided to go and visit this Brother Kindness in the morning, the other part of the group split off and decided that since they wanted to take advantage of the daylight and go scout out the supposed nest of vampires that was on a plantation in the middle of central Georgia.
This is not a supposed nest of vampires. This is confirmed nest of vampires.
Yeah. But before we get back to all of that, the thing that I forgot to do last time we did this, in a secluded, dark room in an undisclosed location sometime in the future, an individual continues to give their report. And so, of course, this is about the time that things really started to become fucking complicated, to put it lightly. The individual says, as someone else sort of raises their own voice. Yes, this is indeed where the report seems to become fragmented and somewhat complicated to read at best. I hope that your explanations will do a better job of enlightening things. Well, there's only so much that I can do with my words to explain the complete clusterfuck of events that all happened roughly simultaneously that put everything into a bit of a cascade down to the situation that we've got right now. But let's start, shall we say, with the events that happened in the conversation between our agents and this mage, and the story of what we can only describe as the God Machine Chronicle. And so with that...
You should have put the questioning upturn on the end of that sentence.
That wasn't supposed to be in the title.
That's your fault, not mine.
The God Machine Chronicle?
I mean, it's better with a question mark.
Oh, just wait. So with that, let's rejoin the group of Nina, Colleen, and Drew, I believe, who are at a small studio with Brother Kindness, who is currently in the booth while the rest of you are sitting in the sound studio, and has sort of prepared to answer questions and provide exposition.
Yes. So just to recap, he is in a soundproof room with the speaker on, and I believe we locked the door on him so he can't just... I mean, he can kick it open if he has some kind of power, or he can shoot it open or something like that. But I'm pretty sure that's bulletproof glass. So we are reasonably safe for the moment.
Yep. And so he sort of leans back for a minute and kind of strokes that long, large, bushy white beard and sort of gathering his thoughts.
Hadn't he just said something about God Machine?
Yes.
I'm sorry. What?
Yes, the creation known as the God Machine. Before I elaborate further on that, I suppose I should ask background knowledge questions. How much do the group of you understand about the abilities of the awakened, my kind? About what we can do?
Personally, not a ton.
I realize I should probably have Roll20 open. William, is there anything I'd know as someone who specializes in dreams?
Someone who specializes in dreams might get you a bit of information, so you can go ahead and roll me an intelligence and occult.
Will do. Wait, that's Shadowrun. You know what's the worst thing about Roll20 is? It was literally at the top of the My Games page, and I just assumed it wouldn't bother to be there.
You know what they say when you
Because it
assume.
never is.
Why
And
isn't
then
my
suddenly
Lord
it
Decker
was,
being
yeah.
of any use in this interrogation?
That's fantastic.
Intelligence and occult, you said?
Yep. Two successes. In particular regard to dreams, which you have a certain specialty, and you do know that mages have a much more active dreamscape than most any other mortals. They're almost typically lucid dreamers. They have a very particularly active inner self, and their inner self is particularly potent in a lot of ways. And there's some belief among those who do that research that awakened inner self has something to do with their ability to perform reality bending magic.
Okay.
I'm assuming I know very little.
Yeah, you don't seem like the kind of person who specializes in mages.
No, not so much. They're pretty. I don't imagine she's ever come across them as problems before, and she generally leaves them alone.
Yeah.
So her response is, "I have no idea, and the only god machine I'm aware of came out of California, and is responsible for some fairly good EPs. So." Why don't we start with the god what now?
God machine. And to explain the God machine, I should first explain an amount of the base abilities of the awakened. To put it in perspective terminology that is easy to understand, we of the awakened have awakened to the fact that the laws of reality are just laws in a very similar way to laws of civilization are, in that they must be enforced. And that for those of us who know how, these laws can be broken, and reality may attempt to enforce them, but there is still the act performed. For then, suppose in this metaphor, the police to come and perform some brutality in response with.
I just want to point out that you said you're called the Awakened because you awakened.
Yes, it's quite simple, actually.
That's so wonderfully explanatory.
I'm just a huge fan of how many bands and musical groups this guy is inadvertently referencing while locked into this music studio.
You should appreciate his restraint at the moment.
So you're saying the police show up and I don't know what, sting you?
I'm still going to need to have who you are explain.
I like the idea that as he's explaining this, the camera isn't interested and is just going across all of these band photos that match the bands that he is talking about.
But, for instance, if I were to say, treat the law of reality that says that all things must be affected by gravity if I were to decide to break that law, it would only be a matter of time before reality's police decided to enforce that law again. But because I know how, I have the ability to break it, at least temporarily.
Right. You know what? I don't even know what to do with that. I'm gonna put up. I'm just gonna put that behind me and say, what does it have to do with the God machine?
Is this the part where he 1-inch punches Nina into the mirror dimension?
I was just wondering if we would describe the werewolves' involvement at this point as sort of a Rage Against the God Machine situation.
The God Machine, to build upon that explanation,
and that was a cold play, Greg.
Was the attempt by one particularly ambitious mage, this Alexander the Fate Weaver, to create a device capable of doing what we do.
You're gonna make me quote Terminator or fucking Jurassic Park to you, aren't you? This is a case of somebody saying, I wonder if I can, and not stopping to think of whether they should.
I'm quite familiar with this movie, yes.
You have to do it in the voice, though. It doesn't work if you just say the words.
Us, you're not in the room right now.
Yes, it does.
No, I am in the back of Nina's head.
But
oh, that's not a place you want to be. Let me be clear.
Or is it?
Anyway, sorry.
It's uncertain how successful Alexander was. His theory was that if he could create a device, a machine, separate from the soul and the idea of the mage, he could create something that could bend reality's laws while escaping the backlash that is typical of more extreme magical effects.
Give something the ability to alter reality and not give it a soul.
To avoid consequences.
Thank you to Doc Webb for subscribing with Twitch Prime.
You know what a soul gives you? A conscience and guilt and empathy.
These were many things that were told to Alexander at the beginning of his experiments, which he carried through with nonetheless.
Great.
That said, Alexander the Fate Weaver does not exist anymore.
Well, that's good.
His place of research and about a mile radius around it was reclaimed by reality in a particularly potent burst of paradox.
Would you say he fell into his experiment? Darker still.
or was he more a boy that fell out? A fallout boy, if you will.
God,
yeah. Hey, we just went two very different directions with our references.
And you know what's great for me? I'm running through an entirely different encyclopedia of references than the rest of you are.
Well,
I'm not making them, you will notice.
That's good that reality did it. It saves us the hassle.
But there's some the way you phrase that makes the implication that the research or some result of it survives.
Yeah. Otherwise, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Indeed. The only thing that was found at the site of his former laboratory was an infant girl,
God damn it.
and a note which claimed that she would be the key to unlocking the God Machine. The girl, who is now roughly 16, and in the room with you.
I was gonna say, yeah, we yeah. Okay.
And because this is something potentially reality altering, everyone thinks they can fix things the way they want with it.
I suppose that would make it quite the prize if everyone
Yep.
believes that through Colleen they can acquire the God Machine and rewrite reality as they see fit without consequence.
Awesome.
I think I just proved my point about how they're demons. How they're all
About I'm sorry, about what?
they're all demons. That's the exact thing demons want.
Who are all demons? All of the vampires and shit?
Mm-hmm.
That's quite a
And
lack
their
of
problems.
granularity.
Doesn't matter what they are. They need to be dealt with. Anyway, it's a bad one. Well, okay, that's information.
And I hope it's useful information. What I can tell you is that the key to allowing young Colleen her own modicum of control, from what I have seen from us raising her, is that she's something of a talent for siphoning energies. I'm sure young Colleen, he says, talking to her directly, sort of into the direction of the booth. You've noticed that oftentimes you're able to pull an amount of something from magical artifacts that you come across, and it further enables your unique talents. That, according to what research we could retrieve from Alexander's work, is a sign that your connection to this God Machine is growing more solid, and that your personal control is improving. I don't know if one leads to the other or if one is induced by the other. But what I do know is that magic and consequences are drawn to the God Machine and to its attachment. So the longer that this goes on without the God Machine either being retrieved and used or sealed away forever, the more the supernatural will be drawn to it.
How's option B happen?
I wish I could tell you. All I know is that it seems to be the better of the two.
No shit!
I imagine it would take the God Machine's own power to seal it away forever.
Okay.
Which would imply they need to draw it out with the right hands to then seal it away.
Right. Okay. I look over at Colleen. You got anything else you need to know?
Honestly, that just sort of solidified stuff that I've been getting bits and pieces of for most of my life, so it's not as much of a shock as it probably should have been, but I'm not exactly in the mental state to process what questions I should be asking right now.
I
Well,
can imagine. Drew?
okay, so Colleen needs more control to seal or help seal the God machine. In the meantime, anything to do about the demonic dreams and all that stuff?
Oh, have you been afflicted with nightmares, Colleen? Colleen kind of steps up to the mic. Yeah, and I don't know if I just didn't mix the drug right, but apparently the dose wasn't strong enough.
Or it's not going to work anymore.
That would be my fear. But if the medication will not work anymore, I hope that it might, but if it will not work anymore, the only solution might be simple meditation and control.
Or drugs. Lots and lots of drugs.
The key lies within your subconscious, my dear. It is your nightmares and fears that draw out the power of the monsters that are called upon. The way that the Order has kept you safe when the nightmares refused to be abated was to use our particular talents. We of the Akashic Brotherhood are potent in the use of the magic of the mind. I do not know what those of you who walk the path of the mortals who stand in the face of darkness wield in that regard.
All right. So are we done with the questions at this point?
Any other questions you have, I will endeavor to answer as best I can. Though, as you might guess, when dealing with things that are beyond the ken of the unawakened in many cases, a little bit of cryptic nature is inherent.
I figured. Drew, any more questions on your part?
I assume your associates probably aren't happy about all this going down.
No, I suspect they would be rather upset if they learned that I had shared this information with you.
You have good luck with that.
Luck isn't a factor when you bend reality.
Yeah, I'm going to let that fly right by at the moment. All right, if we're done with the questions, Drew, can you do me a favor? Take Colleen somewhere. I want to have a brief solo conversation with this guy. Don't worry, everybody's going to walk away from it.
I'll sort of take Colleen by. I will probably miss.
Yeah,
but I will try and take Colleen by the shoulder.
She'll sort of lean into it to make sure that you get it accurate, and will follow you out.
Don't slap her in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Yeah.
Wait until the door is shut.
Mhm.
Sort of stand there for a second, then lean over the console, turn on the microphone. Goes, I need you to be. Tell me something. I need you to be as bluntly, as well as you know, be bluntly honest here. What happens if the person with the connection to the God machine isn't around anymore?
There are a number of theories. There are some theories that now that the connection has been forged through whatever abomination of magic Alexander underwent, it will simply find a new host. There are other theories that she can't truly die because she is connected to the God machine. I don't want to test that one myself. And the third, and perhaps most concerning theory, is that her death would trigger a backlash of the stored energy within the God machine.
So there's no theory that is, well, maybe if the key gets lost, it doesn't open?
That would
Because
be...
that would seem to be, if you've definitively ruled that out, I would like to know that.
While we haven't definitively ruled it out, that is but one very happy scenario amidst a sea of potential cataclysm, which makes it not worth testing.
I'm not saying I'm walking out of here and putting a bullet in someone's head. I'm saying if it comes down to somebody falling into the wrong hands and everything's going to shit anyways, there are possibilities, including it goes to somebody else, so everybody has to find them again.
Yes, there are other possibilities.
Okay. That's all I needed to know.
It's
I
been...
don't really want to do this, but I had to ask.
Yes, it's been not worth testing thus far.
Oh yeah, I am sure this is probably massively discussed as a, well, can't we just? Because that seems to be the kind of thing that a bunch of people who would make a reality warping, guiltless, conscienceless thing would consider to clean up messes. But okay.
Alexander was not the most stable of individuals.
No. All right. Well.
And yet you put him in charge of weaving fate.
Right? So
wasn't a title that we gave him.
That's more of a title you give yourself more than anything.
Suffice it to say, we will take it from here, from your clear, your not you yourself. This is not anything against you. Your your people's clearly rational, sane, and capable hand.
There's a reason that I came to you with information rather than
and I
take her
appreciate
back.
that. Like I said, I'm not insulting you. I'm insulting everybody else who's like you.
I honestly cannot argue that point.
Cool. So,
I could count the number of rational and reasonable mages who have not been caught up with their own powers in less than one hand that I know of.
So I go over and I unlock the door. Do me a favor. Wait about 3 or 4 minutes before you walk, before you leave, to give us a chance to get away.
He nods his head.
You're a peach. And I walk
and we're
out.
in Georgia, so that means something.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I go find the other two.
So while that was happening, taking Colleen out of, obviously away from that recording studio, which is soundproof, so that's pretty easy. Finding like a instruments closet or a side room or whatever in this place that we are borrowing. So it sounds like it's been a rough couple of days for you.
Yeah. I still processing that one. But yeah.
I'll pull some, it's probably not anything particularly fancy, some sort of fairly strong alcohol out of my bag. Here.
Now you're offering alcohol to a minor. Sure.
Hey, my ethics are complicated.
She takes it, uncorks it, takes a swig.
I asked you something when we first met and you weren't ready to answer, but it is becoming more important now. As you've learned, being locked away with them, by them, and other things that have happened around you, this is a world with darkness and creatures of hell, monstrosities that walk through it. Some pretending to be human, and some reveling in the cataclysm they can inflict. I represent, most of us represent a force interested in the protection of people and the extinguishment of hell's servants upon this world. So I have to ask you again, where do your loyalties lie?
Bless you, hon.
That's a very loaded question. Because on the one hand, it probably wouldn't make sense for me to say with the people that I just met a few days ago who would like to kill all of the things that conveniently, yes, have been trying to hunt me down. But at the same time, it wouldn't exactly be right to say the people that kept me locked in a closet for 16 years. That's still formulating. But suffice it to say, I think I'd like it if maybe everybody didn't have to be killing each other to not die constantly.
Well, it's not an answer I can help you with, but it's an answer you're gonna need to find. Do I think she's telling the truth?
Go ahead and...
It's wits and empathy, right?
Yeah, wits and empathy. Go ahead. Two successes. She definitely seems confused. Like, I mean, she's 16. There's an amount of confusion inherent, but it's very easy to take her at her word because there is so much confusion that if she honestly had already decided her loyalties, you wouldn't be certain if that would stay, if that would stick. If she had said honestly that she was with you, you wouldn't be certain that would be permanent.
All right.
So she definitely seems to be being honest right now about not being certain.
Shut up, Adobe Acrobat. That file is totally available. I was looking at it earlier today. So, given my affiliation and specifically my sort of sub-faction affiliation of, like, essentially everything theoretically can be redeemed, but if you have loyalties to hell, or you don't have the right loyalties, you have to be taken down. Do I have an obligation to fireball her right now from a...
Not really. She's kind of like completely the opposite of being loyal to hell.
Okay.
She's not loyal to anything that is currently trying to kill her, and you would argue that hell is definitely trying to do that.
Yeah, there are the vampires. Kill and enslave her, same difference. Okay. Well... Okay. Eventually, Nina finds both of us in a music closet.
Yeah. And while that happens, meanwhile, there's a church van heading for a plantation.
Yep.
Yes, there is.
With Ave Maria playing over the formerly ice cream van speakers.
All right, strap in, lads and lasses. We've got ourselves a very boring 2 hours.
This song's on a loop, so get used to it.
Paul's gonna pull out a pair of earphones, plug them into his phone, and start trying to pull up GPS data on the location of the
It's at that
plantation.
point that the remix kicks in and you start getting the Ave Maria.
I was picturing it. I was picturing it playing with the same general cadence of and quality of the ice cream van speakers.
Oh, yeah.
No. I mean, quality, yes, but not the cadence.
Okay.
No, it's an Ave Maria remix with the vocals mostly intact, but the music completely different.
Paul jams the earphones in a little tighter. Is there much we can get on the site of the plantation in terms of satellite imagery, pulling it up on?
Well, you can Google Lane Creek Plantation.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
And see what you can find there for satellite imagery.
All right. Please tell me I don't need to roll to Google.
No, you don't need to roll to Google.
Well, how old
All right.
are you, Paul?
He's mid-40s. He's not that old.
In World of Darkness, once you hit a certain age
It
threshold,
was a legitimate skill.
once you hit
Yeah.
a certain age threshold, you have to roll to Google.
That's fair. I think I'm right at the edge of that in real life. So, but in Paul's defense, he does a little bit more casing of locations than I do. So,
I shit you not. I used to live like 10 miles from here.
It's 10 miles off of Lane Creek.
Yep.
Nice.
South Athens, man.
Yep. So it's from what you can gather off of the Google directions, it's just going to be straight up 186 and then left on Hillsboro, which then turns into Coal Springs, which then leads straight past the plantation.
And you can indeed get a satellite view, but
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking less at actually I can do that in real life, can I?
Yes, you
Yep.
can.
Okay, I may as
You
well do
absolutely can get satellite view in real life.
that. All right.
Google Maps making
World of Darkness.
World of Darkness slightly easier.
Yep.
You can probably even walk down that street in virtual
Oh, in Street View?
I know.
Yeah.
The Street View
you can
unfortunately
also do it in actual VR, but probably in Street View.
the Street View unfortunately does not get too terribly close to
No.
plantation.
Oh, private land, Georgia. That makes sense.
Yep.
It gets close, but not quite.
And in terms of looking it up, let's see.
What you find based on the satellite view is that it's one massive plantation house with a whole bunch of forest land right behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And at any given point in the day, there's like 20 or 30 cars in the parking lot.
Okay. Paul pops out one of the earphones and says, "Well, hopefully we're all on the same page that just strolling right up to the main gates probably isn't the best approach. It looks like there's quite a bit of wood cover around. Maybe if we were to park off of one of the main roads, find some sort of commercial parking lot nearby, where there'd be a decent amount of traffic in and out. Park there and then hike in over the woodlands."
Well, strictly speaking, not many plantation houses are still used as plantation houses anymore. Can you tell what it's used for? I would look, but I'm driving.
Sure, let me just take a look here. There's a website. I'm pulling it up. It looks like it was made in 1993. I'm not saying that because I have a date. I'm saying that it looks like the original. I'm surprised that there aren't spinning animated images on it. But how real world accurate is the website?
It is a golf community.
Okay, all right. Well, so it looks like if we want to take in a quick 9, it might be a good day for it. I've got an idea. And I'm going to Google sporting supply stores.
Paul, lad, forgive me if my terminology is a bit off, but taking in a quick 9 has a slightly different meaning where I'm from. What?
Well, if it's a golf community, why don't we all stroll up?
Right,
and play the front 9 and get a look at it while we're out on the greens.
A quick 9 is reference to, that many pints in an evening, and
I mean, we can do both.
Paul
That
smiles and he
sounds
says,
like a good time.
it's gonna depend on
something very different in Nina's terminology.
So
I was afraid that's where Jack was going.
So we'll take a quick 9 on the front 9.
So to quote,
earbuds back in.
I shit you not. This is one of my favorite quotes from StarCraft. I tend to go real slow making friends. I tend to give it 9 rounds, whether that's drinks, bullets, or fist fights. It depends on the day.
Yes.
Is it public admission, or do you have to be members?
Let's take a look.
Liam, if you're going to include a golf club in your narrative, you're going to have to know whether or not it's public or private admission.
Yeah, because that's the highest thing on my list of priorities.
You have to know. We're going to go play some fucking golf in World of Darkness, okay?
This is going to be the most riveting World of Darkness game ever.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to the dress up
All
montage,
right,
my friend.
so roll to see how roll strength athletics to see how far, let's see how close to par you get.
It's a public course.
I can spend hours playing mini games in Yakuza, okay? We're just about to do that right now.
Yeah. It's a public course, but it's a residential golf community, so
Okay.
Presumably anyone who lives there sort of gets benefits, but it is a public course.
What do I roll to putt?
Dexterity and athletics.
Absolutely not.
No, Jeremy's right. It's definitely not dexterity and athletics. I feel like it's probably a wits and composure, or potentially a manipulation and composure roll.
For putting, sure, but for driving, it's definitely dexterity.
Yeah,
athletics,
driving athletics.
Bad flashbacks.
All right.
Some of my worst World of Darkness games. When
All right, what do I roll to select the proper club with which to bludgeon my caddy to death?
Well, that would obviously be intelligence and weaponry.
Excellent. I'm off to the races. Here
We're gonna
Socialize and weaponry.
So we're gonna stop. So we're gonna stop at a Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yep.
Yeah.
I literally am Googling where to rent golf clubs, and Dick's just came up.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so there's a Dick's Sporting Goods on 78 on the way out, so we'll stop there and get some
This
golf
is what
clubs.
we're being, by the way.
I'm being
I'm gonna make
serious.
sure.
There is no better way to scout out a golf club than by golfing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not wrong.
I'm gonna make sure we get Astrid's at least some golfing gloves that cover her knuckles.
That's probably useful, yeah.
Just so the love and hate aren't clearly there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Paul will at least encourage everyone else to pick something golf course appropriate. But I think
do you all get polos and golf caps?
Oh my god!
So if Paul directs Eamon to get something golf course appropriate, Eamon nods, ducks in the back of the van. You hear him rummaging around in a duffel bag a bit.
Hey, could you get?
And he comes out basically dressed like a very stereotypical hitman.
Could you get my while you're back there, Eamon? Can you get my coat and collar?
Paul just pauses
out too.
Fucking priest on the golf course.
Absolutely.
You know what, lads? I'll tell you what. Just give me your sizes. I'll pick something out for you.
We're in the South. We're better for a pastor than on the golf course.
You're a priest.
Or that
You're
priest.
Catholic.
A priest than on the golf course.
Yeah.
I'm a really bad Catholic.
But the whole purpose of casing is to allow us to investigate without being identified. So something as easy to pick out as a priest collar might be less advisable than, say, a nice visor and a cheery polo. So
what if
let's swing by any kind of shop and we'll pick something out.
I reach over and grab a big, really broad brimmed, Western priest hat? And
No.
What about this?
No.
That's not.
No.
No.
Look, I really appreciate that you're a big Clint Eastwood fan. I can't wait to see you in Tail Rider. But we are going to hold off. And just let me. How about a baseball cap?
I'm super excited. I'm super excited to see him talk to a chair.
I am
so many references
so
to Hitman Sapienza.
All right, so we get normal-ish clothes.
I mean, Paul is going to pick out a visor, a sort of faded pink polo shirt, white and blue check shorts, and some golf cleats.
Yeah, between Astrid's resources and Paul's professional training, it's not even a problem.
So I know we're belaboring this point, but I do want to point out that golf courses are obnoxious because women can't wear pants. Sorry, that might actually be a West Coast thing.
I mean,
that's not anything
I
I've
don't
ever
want
run
to
into.
stereotype the South too much, but that sounds like maybe a West Coast thing, but doubly a South thing.
Okay,
Astrid's wearing pants.
fair enough.
No, it's not a South thing because you'll see Daisy Dukes on a golf course.
Those are not pants.
It's not a. It's
Yeah,
a. It
this
might be a.
very much might be in West Coast people thing.
It also might be a fashion thing. It may very well be a fashion thing on golf courses, but there's no like regulations against them. At least not on public ones.
There's also literally a picture of a woman wearing pants on the website for Lane Creek.
Okay.
So
I will save my stories about public golf courses for after stream.
I mean, don't get me wrong. That sounds unbelievably shitty, but it doesn't sound like, of all the problems that we're going to run into at Lane Creek, I think that particular one is not going to be
We're only going to be having to deal with fascist Nazi zombie vampires, not fascist Nazi zombie vampires with abhorrently restrictive dress codes.
When did they become zombie vampires?
I killed a zombie earlier, and technically vampires and zombies are very close to the same thing.
No! No! Absolutely not!
All right, so
we have
bullet clubs,
don't care.
We have outfits, and we're back on the road to Lane Creek.
Yep.
That promotes very harmful anti-kindred stereotypes.
Good.
About an hour later, judging by traffic, you managed to pull up on Coal Springs Road to the left turn onto Lane Creek Drive.
So I get out, and immediately the sun like bleach whites off of my shins because he got me checkered shorts.
Yeah.
And also the other thing that becomes readily apparent are all the scars I've got on my legs and arms.
It's John Marston just stepped out.
Just in like a polo outfit. It's just like hat on. All right, I'm good to go. with gun still holstered on hip.
Nope.
It's the South. No one questions it.
Well, okay.
Hey.
All right. I mean, if you were telling me legitimately, if you were telling me legitimately nobody's going to remember that.
Oh no,
fine.
They probably definitely.
But I don't
will
want
remember
that to come back and bite us in the ass.
Oh no, they'll remember the look. They just won't question it.
Oh no, you're
Okay.
fair. You're fair.
Yeah.
You're fair.
Then you hop out. Paul puts a hand on your shoulder, sort of turns around, directs you back in.
Because I mean,
remove the gun.
The further you get from a city center in Georgia, the more open carry gets.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the what would clearly be a montage of this prep, there's definitely a scene where Sean hops out and is like, huh? And then it cuts to the next shot is Sean jumping back out of the van, looking all dejected and having like a golf pencil stuffed into the pocket where the gun was hanging over. Sad. And Paul's like,
That definitely happens.
I look forward to once the two groups get back together. Nina and Paul drink with me and being like, "You're not gonna believe what these fucking crazy people told us." And Paul's gonna be like, "You're not gonna believe what I had to deal with these people."
Yeah,
we have
in retrospect, we're probably the social stealth half of the team, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
yeah.
Then you have to do the same thing with Eamon, but this time it's making sure he's not taking his big ass machete in with him.
I don't have a machete. I have a gladius. Thank you very much.
Machete, and then cut to holding a nice wedge.
You can still beat someone's brain in with a wedge.
I think we probably even have that conversation.
Can I hide the gun in the golf bag?
Actually, yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.
And make sure to put the rifle in the golf bag.
And you put one of the club heads over the barrel, you know?
I'm fairly confident.
Gun, I
exists.
assume pistol. That was my mistake. Not taking the rifle.
I'm fairly confident there are like back ends of golf clubs, like the handle part
that are shaped like rifles
to look like weapons.
Yes, I am 90% certain.
I put the rifle back.
It's what, 1 PM?
I put the rifle back. I put the Thunder 5 in the golf bag.
Okay, all right. We've reached a compromise.
The louder of the two guns, but smaller.
I can't
Paul
take my rifle. I can only take my shotgun revolver.
Paul is sorting through a sort of a larger billfold that he pulled out from the around the small of his back, and is looking through, sort of flipping through a couple different IDs, weighing the benefits of each. And he looks around and says, "All right, so what names are you all using?"
Sean.
Eamon.
Astrid.
Yes! You knew that was coming.
Perfect
but
time.
it doesn't make it any less funny.
All right.
Oh, the comedic timing in this episode is fantastic.
We'll go with, to make it easy, we'll go with Sam, Aaron, and Esme. Is that all right?
Oh my god. That's funny for two reasons that only Holly and I get.
And me.
Yeah, no, John gets it.
So which one of us is Sam?
You. It's the same letter. All right.
I mean, but he kind of looks more like a Sam, really, if you really think about it in the long run. I say pointing at Eamon.
We could Stockholm syndrome it.
You're not my Swedish brother.
Well, no, that'd make Paul your brother, and I'm Sven Tarvigsen.
No,
from Stockholm.
No, we're different people.
I am very interested to play the golf in the United States.
I want to point out the two of you are twins.
You sound way more like you're trying to do an offensive Indian accent, Eamon.
Yeah.
All right, so
it's a new character. I'm working on him still.
Okay. All right. So are you going to do, is that the route we're going?
So Sam, Eamon. Sorry, not Eamon. Fuck, what was his name again?
It sounds like Lars now. Is it Lars?
Sam,
Aaron,
and
Esme.
Fair enough.
Why do I have this strange sense of foreboding every time I say Esme? I say looking at Astrid.
Shrugs.
All right, and I'm Bill Naughton. So yeah, so we're all ready to go. Okay.
Oh my god.
Bill.
He selects one of them and tucks it into his actual wallet and puts the larger billfold back, sort of under his belt behind his shirt.
Lead the way, Bill.
All right, there. Let's go up this way.
Eamon's just got a huge golf bag that clunks as you move it. There are obviously no golf clubs sticking out of it.
Okay, we'll fix that before we put in the rented golf clubs.
Wait, Eamon, Aaron. I shove a couple of golf clubs from my bag into his bag.
No, we rented enough golf clubs for everyone. I'll make sure that
I love that the
wood
twins are
and
just
iron. He's got the appropriate amount of golf clubs.
I love that the twins are just giving Paul hell right now.
I feel like Astrid's bag has like the clubs and then like her axes just like sticking out the top of it.
I mean, yeah, because sometimes you got to clear out some brush if your golf club gets stuck in the woods.
Exactly.
I feel like the compromise we reach on that is we turn them around and shove the axe part into the bottom of the bag, and then put a little club cover on the end of the handle.
There we go.
That works.
We are way over prepared for this this
right.
weekday afternoon golf round.
So you have your Benny Hill moment.
Yeah.
Of trying to make sure that everyone
Yakety Sax finishes playing.
Yeah, Yakety Sax goes through the entire song before you got everyone ready to go.
And we, I guess, head up to the pro shop.
Yeah. And so you, as you approach the shop to like sign up for a 9, everyone can go ahead and roll me wits and composure. take in surroundings.
How many penalties is Paul currently under?
2 successes for Eamon.
Okay. That was a fire.
Astrid just
Sorry.
fucking shoots somebody.
For 5 damage. Somebody
Every
fucking dead.
time. Like, Astrid, make a roll. Bam! I didn't say shoot someone.
Sorry. Am I supposed to have it on sheet roll?
Yeah, sheet
Yeah.
roll.
Yes, sheet roll.
Okay.
Attack roll automatically goes for whatever weapon you've got.
Okay, 2 successes.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a 0.
0 successes.
So while Paul is too busy trying to wrangle Sean, and Sean is too busy being wrangled by Paul, Eamon and Astrid notice that the area is the people that are manning the area don't look like your typical like urban white dude. In terms of like the people that are on the course and that are like manning the booths, they look more like European like athlete white dude.
Okay.
Like everyone that you see is
I want to break you.
sort of all of the people that you're seeing like on the course and manning everything are very well built and very Aryan.
Assume all Euro trash are vampires, because they probably are.
It's the middle of the day though.
Ghouls. Assume all Eurotrash are ghouls.
We don't necessarily know that that's not a only some vampires thing.
So what you're saying is that this entire golf course is basically staffed by the 1990 version of Dolph Lundgren.
I was gonna say the bad guys in Blade, but
The bad guys in Raiders of the Lost Ark might work too. What I'm saying is there's a lot of blonde hair and blue eyes around here.
Mm-hmm.
They have come for our golf
I
clubs.
did not see that coming at all.
Right, well.
If anyone around here starts saluting with all 5 fingers pointing right up at the sky, I'm gonna start shooting. I'm just letting you know that now.
I just want to point out that last night, randomly YouTube hopping, I ended up watching about 6 different live renditions of Little Tiny Mustache by Stephen Lynch in a row. So this is hilarious to me.
And I'll point out, I think also Sean and Paul haven't noticed it because they're
Yeah,
still
no.
walking up in a whispered conversation. Paul is going like, "No, I keep telling you, they'll be fine. You don't need to carry more, okay? We have one in the bag. It's daytime."
I do like that.
But I
well,
don't have
So,
all of my ammo.
So I'm
So
assuming
you put those in
I'm
the
assuming the 4 of you are here for a 9 then, says a very like Scandinavian voice.
Oh,
From-
whoa,
from
you
the-
came out of nowhere there. Hey there, and,
As the guy that has come to greet the group of you is the first guy that you've seen that isn't blonde.
okay.
But that's only because his hair is more of like a silver kind of going on. And he's got like a series of different scars that sort of competes with Sean in terms of face coverage. And he's got this sort of like Russell Crowe beard. Like Valjean.
Well, like Javert.
Sorry, Javert. Yes, Russell Crowe. Javert. Sorry, it's been a while since I watched Les Mis. His names are.
Their names are intentionally the opposites of each other and almost each other spelled backwards. It's fine.
Yep.
Yeah. He sort of So you're looking for the front 9. You want to do the 9 forward or backwards?
Oh, hey, what would you recommend just to get to know the lay of the course there?
Well, if you've never done the 9 before, I'd recommend taking it from the front, just because the layout of the host makes a little bit more sense of moving forward than backwards.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that'd be great. Can you set up my 3 friends here and me for that? That'd be great.
Certainly, that'll see. You've brought your own clubs. We don't have to provide those. Do you want to rent a golf cart?
Oh yeah, that'd be great there. You know what they say, when you got to travel, you got to bring your work gear, and nothing says plumbing supply convention like a set of golf clubs, eh?
Make me a manipulation and subterfuge.
I assume I get my specialization on this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, fast talking. Yes.
Yeah, and I think this is accompanied by him. The end of that is accompanied by him sticking out his hand. So we'll see how that goes.
All I heard was manipulation and subterfuge. What's going on?
3 success.
According to Paul, we're here for a plumbing supplies convention.
And I think he actually
brought your golf clubs.
Yeah, well, traveling business, you travel around.
We're not here at the specific location.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're here in the town for the convention.
Yeah, I got it.
But we're here actually to goof off and play golf. And I think he actually, with that, sticks out his hand, and he has a card that says AAA plumbing supply, faucets, shower heads, and more. And on the bottom it says Bill Naughton, sales representative.
So he kind of gives you this squinting look for a second, like he's trying to see what you're really doing, and then he just
which is when Eamon goes, "Buongiorno."
Yes.
And that line is what makes him just go, "Yeah, that makes sense." And he just kind of takes the card out of courtesy. All right, so the course will be, and he just sort of rattles off the price breakdown.
Okay.
For everything. You guys have more than enough resources for it.
Oh, that's great there.
All right, your first hole will be over there, and he points off and off towards the start.
Perfect. Let me ask you there. It looks like you got a nice clubhouse here. When we finish up, if we're looking for something to eat, maybe have a little drink, it's okay if we come on in.
Yeah, the kitchen's on the first floor. All the areas that are open to the public are marked. Just keep to the signage. Stay away from everything that's not marked, because that's private for the people that live in the plantation house, and hired security is supposed to keep people out of that.
Oh yeah. Hey, I saw that. Looks like this is a historic building, huh? That y'all turned into a golf course. Is that right?
That'd be correct, although I wouldn't have all the details. I'm just hired help.
But you got any signs? I love reading plaques. That's one of my favorites. Got things scattered around. Can we go into the old buildings? Oh boy, I love history.
Well, most of the buildings around here are actually residences, so people usually live in them, but there's a couple of places that's, from my understanding, are kept as sort of historical tourists attractions.
Oh, you don't say. So some people actually live here on the golf course. Oh, that's a life, eh, guys? He turns and looks at...
I give the biggest shit-eating grin I can possibly sum up.
Oh, look at Sam here. He's he's boiling over with excitement. And our Italian friend there, good old Aaron.
Assolutamente.
Aaron, I'm just giving you a bit of a hard time, but good for you for picking up those Italian books on tape. Good for you for working on that to better yourself. He turns back around and gives a wink to the giant silver-haired guy.
You know what this absolutely looks like? It looks like those European tourists that pretend to be from a different part of Europe. You won't know any better.
I mean, that's what we are.
I think Paul's is sort of
not wrong.
When he's turning around from addressing these two issues, so we'll look at Astrid, sort of mouths, "Thank you." And then, so does he say anything else about living on the course?
No, he doesn't really have a whole lot. From what you can gather, he's security. He doesn't live here. He's just hired to. And as you guys are sort of turning to head to the course, he sort of looks at the back of your group and just kind of in like switching to the proper accent. Buon giornata.
Grazie, si vous plaît.
I think you might be listening to maybe two of the same courses at once.
You go fuck yourself.
Oh, you're such a kidder, Aaron. Let's go get in the cart.
As we get out, I think that went well. I think that went well.
As you encountered the guy who actually does speak Italian.
Right. Of course I did.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's going just real great so far there, Sam. Thanks.
I mean, Bill, you got a couple extra gray hairs, right? Right.
Oh, I'll be surprised if I've got any of them left by the time we get out of here. All right, so we can. Are any of the residences along the course?
There's a couple, honestly. The golf course seems to pass like not on the course, but like there's a couple of holes in the course that pass to the side of the main streets that the houses are on. Okay. So it's like if you look on like the Google Maps, there's like Lane Creek Terrace goes road, golf course, road, golf course, more golf course, and then back to road.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I think we'll head out and try to play a fast round and see how close we can get to them as we go.
And while we're going through, I'm basically keeping an eye out for any houses that might have historical location signs on them, or anything that looks like it was built for tourists that would be a little easier to access at night for like sniping positions and vantage points.
And Eamon is going to be looking at houses that look like they have the window shades drawn. Like if anything looks like it's being no sunlight here, please, thanks.
Okay.
Whatever you want us to.
Let's see. For an attempt to try and get as close as possible, go ahead and roll me manipulation and socialize.
Cool.
Just to make it look natural.
Is this still fast talking or no?
No, there's no talking involved in playing golf close.
This is you hitting a ball in such a This is you hitting a ball in such a way as to make it land near a house.
Oh, jeez, look at that one there. That one's so far into the rough, I wish I'd hit the bunker. Oh, well, here I go.
Wow.
And he's basically doing the Martin Freeman accent from Fargo.
Right.
As a native Londoner, watched that season of Fargo and thought, oh, he's really pulling that off. Yeah, that's like a mental note of that, I will. All right, so I got one success.
Yep. So it literally plays out like that, which is how you attempt to get closer to some of the houses. Which, for better or worse, might do something.
I'm over here with a pad and a pencil going, Oh man, he is not going to bring this under par.
And then for attempts to glean which of these might be decent sniping positions, go ahead and roll me a wits and larceny.
Ooh. Can I spend a willpower for 3 extra dice?
Sure.
I'm going to be looking real hard.
I feel like there was also a scene when we were renting clubs where Eamon got really excited when he heard that there were golf clubs called Blades, and then got really disappointed.
Yep.
Very quickly.
Very quickly.
Meanwhile, I'm over there looking at golf clubs like, I wonder how easily it would be to hide a sniper rifle inside this.
Too thin. So what you find as you're looking around, the place that you probably want to get into based on your observations is the plantation house itself.
Yeah.
But there's a variety of different smaller houses that are mostly residential, some of which are more heritage locations. But there is one site that is on. So there's a circle right in front of the plantation house for turning around on Club Drive. The house in front of that is mostly for like management of the golf course, but it's technically a public facility. So if you could get in there when no one else was there, it would probably be the best vantage point. But at the same time, that's like right off the main road, so it'd be easy to spot.
That's a potential sniping point. Got it.
But at the same time, there's the forest directly across the road from the plantation house is pretty thick and pretty elevated, so
okay,
that might also work. And then for looking for suspiciously drawn houses, go ahead and just roll me a wits and composure.
Ready? Nope.
People have their blinds drawn, but sometimes people just like to sleep through the day and don't want the sun in their face. So, you know.
Some people work at night.
Looks like we'll just have to burn them all down.
Are there many other people like out on the golf course?
There's a couple, but like 2 or 3 other groups. It doesn't seem like it's a busy day. And most of them are those like weird, like Euro athlete people that you've seen. You don't see any like stereotypical middle-aged, middleweight, you know.
While at one point while Paul is doing his, oh shit, I hit it wide again, and trots off, and I'm still marking him down because I'm taking score.
Oh geez, yeah, my handicap is just it's going right in the toilet.
Oh yeah, no, you're definitely losing this one. I'm just gonna pull out a cigarette, light it, and then offer one to Astrid.
She'll take one.
Light it. Just start smoking while we're out there golfing.
It is conveniently not a no smoking course.
Curious though, I'd imagine the vampires would want as little smoking as possible nearby.
Didn't we have this conversation during Vampire that
Cigarettes
actually
are
vampires
literally the perfect
Yeah, no,
way.
I know.
Because then you have to act like you're breathing.
Yep.
Because you have to suck in, smoke and suck it and breathe it back out.
Yeah, it's just that some particularly skittish vampires don't like cigarettes for Rotschreck reasons, but that's just the
you say
particularly skittish
skittish.
ones.
You say skittish, I say give a shit about whether they burn to death or not. That said, most of my vampires smoke.
Yeah, but we also know what kind of characters you play, and
They don't care if they burn to death
Right.
or not.
And to be fair, Eamon is actually trying to golf. What's he roll for that?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, what do we actually roll for golfing?
If you're actually trying to golf,
Oh, yeah. Fuck, this is a competition now.
that will be dexterity and
Athletics.
Dexterity?
Yeah, they're
Strength. It does not require that much coordination.
I would have gone intelligence,
Golf
but I don't
requires
think
a bit more finesse than you might think.
No, I'm not saying that it involves none. I'm saying it involves a lot more strength than it does.
Either way.
Than it does.
My personal thing is you're trying to nail a range, so you need the fine muscle control, not just the raw power.
Yeah, because if you just smack a golf ball, it won't go towards the hole. It'll fly into somebody's window.
All right, that's where the athletics comes in because that's the know-how.
Actually, honestly, to judge distances, I would actually say wits and athletics.
Okay.
Also works.
Do either one of us have a specialty in golf, I wonder?
Nope.
Though that is now a new...
And one of you secretly actually plays golf.
That is now a new thing that I want to make now, a hunter that specifically like tees up golf balls and smacks them into vampires.
The reason that I mentioned strength, by the way, is because thrown weapons are strength and athletics.
Yeah, but that's where throwing like arm strength really comes in. Is
so Eamon and Sean are going at it really hard, and Astrid just plays through them.
I was about to say, Astrid has the best score of the group of you. She's the only one that's actually under par.
I mean,
she also doesn't seem to be putting like any effort forward. She really doesn't seem to care.
You catch the faint gleam. You catch the faint gleam of a tattoo on the side of her neck as she just brings the golf club back and.
Feel like we're being cheated somehow.
You weren't stupid enough to take a bet from her, were you?
No.
All right.
No, I only bet with Paul.
No.
I wouldn't bet with him either.
Because Paul is very clearly aiming for the rough and the deep rough. And it just constantly muttering stuff like, "Oh, geez, yeah, it must be all the humidity in the air. Oh, it's just real throwing off my swing. Oh,
what fucking type of golf do they play up there in Missoula?
Real cold. Yeah, you got to wear a parka, and that just you got to adjust for the swing. I don't fucking know. Just keep going up for vampire houses."
This is about the time at which you guys are finishing up your interrogation of the mage.
I assume we probably send a text saying that we're done ETA, something like that.
Well, I mean, so when I find you guys, because I believe there was some question of whether I'm finding two people or one person and a charred corpse. So
I'm not a charred corpse for trying to kill the Deus Ex Machina child or the MacGuffin child yet.
You weren't the corpse I was talking about.
So, as I understand it, you're probably looking around and you probably find like a small office or a music closet or something, and we're both there.
Open up a closet.
She has more alcohol now.
You guys open up a closet, see the two of them, see the alcohol. Do you guys need a few minutes?
She says with a bottle in her hand.
Are you done with the...
Yeah, no, I asked him to give us a few minutes to go, but if you guys have anything you need to finish up at the moment, that's fine. I can stall him.
I think we can get out of here.
All right.
Drew looks at you and, like, despite the fact that Drew never actually gets your face dead on when looking at you, there is clearly more confusion in that, just like, what are you even?
Oh my god, that's adorable. Let's go.
Okay. What do we
What's the plan? Is that what you're asking?
is there anything else we need to do while we're down 3 shoot first, ask questions, nevers?
I'd like to point out that we pointedly stab first, then ask questions, then shoot and/or light on fire. Thank you very much. We've done it twice now.
I mean, unless you know where to find a god machine, I don't suppose that's something that you're
William, is there a chance I can roll for that?
This is the first time you've heard of a god machine.
Cool.
Aside from a band.
I don't know. I'm just saying your family ties are somewhat, you're like what, grand, like nephew of God, just like the black sheep side.
It's not that.
Are you saying you can't call? Are you saying you can't call great uncle Jehovah?
No, I cannot. We believe in our redemption. That doesn't mean we have been redeemed.
It is Jehovah spelled with an I.
All right, Indy.
There's no me in Jehovah.
So, okay, you just unload in that short sentence, you just unloaded a whole lot. And I am looking forward to digging into that with you. But the short answer is no. So, and I don't know anything about a god machine. Colleen, do you feel a pull in any particular direction?
If I did, I probably would have told you by now.
I assume so, but I have to ask. So I'm gonna say no. We've got nothing that we need to do at the moment, unless there's something I'm forgetting. And I think it's time that we text Larry, Joe, Curly, and Mo.
The Four Stooges?
Shemp was the fourth.
Shemp, sorry. What did I say?
You started it.
You started.
Oh, I see what I did. Yeah. I see what I did. Never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah, you started it on the. You started it on the Pet Boys, and then ended up on the.
I'm gonna be honest. Nina may know a lot about rock music, but she's also a 20-something-year-old who
I think that's reasonable.
Probably never seen the Three Stooges in her life. So
Larry, Joe, Curly, and Mo is actually pretty good. Yeah.
You started on the Pet Boys and ended up on the.
Statement stands.
So does Colleen's. The Four Stooges?
Should we call?
There were 4, don't you know? Huh?
I did not know.
Sorry, Drew, say that again.
Should we text or should we call?
We should text.
Yeah, ringtones going off around a vampire is not the best idea.
I mean, ringtones are going to go off regardless, unless they were smart and silenced their phones. Look at who we're talking about. Those things are going to probably be max volume.
I'll text, probably...
Amen.
Yeah. I'm gonna...
Isn't Sean the one with the big guns that likes to be at a distance?
Probably, but
I'm gonna text the actual infiltration expert on that side of the team. And just sort of, we're done. ETA, need anything?
So what humorous text tone does Paul have set up?
Paul has nothing that's humorous at all. It's a very small buzz.
Because I feel like both Jack and I had a joke ready for if we had been texted.
No, I mean, I as a player would love to pick something funny, but he very pointedly does not have a loud text tone at all. He has it on vibrate.
Why do you think I texted the person who knows how to be subtle?
I was super excited for Paul's back pocket to start playing like Wannabe.
And now that we're out, I'll probably shove my little Bluetooth thing back in my ear so I can use the text-to-speech stuff.
Okay. Yeah, he'll sort of mutter to himself, "Oh, geez, home office chicken in," and pull out the text.
Despite the fact that he is in the middle of the woods and nobody's nearby.
He just doesn't have a habit of just...
Oh, Bill, Bill's a talker, and
don't break, man. Don't break.
Always used to say that the talking to yourself's the only way to get good answers. So, so what is the text?
We're done. Need anything? ETA? Where? General, like, what do we need to do to reconnect questions? Probably just one after the other.
He'll text back. Target site is a golf course with historic homes. Currently finding out what we can. No need for backup at this time. But if you want to work on your backswing, come join us. Backswing is tennis.
The text that goes in the text
that comes as a second.
No, it does. No, it doesn't. That's Paul's better at this than I am.
I work on your drive.
I appreciate that you corrected yourself.
If you want to work on your par,
Drew will show.
If you want to work on your short game, come join us.
Short game is pool.
No, it's also.
No, I'm just.
Jack and I are the punchy ones.
Yes, we are.
I'll show that to.
Okay. Well, there is literally no part of my game I need to work on.
Is that because you play golf all the time or because you don't play golf?
Because she got game.
Because the game that was being discussed was not golf.
She got game, he said, sounding very, very old.
Also, I actually probably do have clothes, but they're back at the apartment, and I don't feel like going to get them and then driving out there.
Also, we're not bringing her directly back to the vampires. That would.
Oh fuck no! That's the whole reason why she's with us.
Mm-hmm.
You're with us. Sorry, we're not talking like you're not here. It's just that
it's all right. The monks did it literally all the time. I'm kind of used to it.
It's not that we're talking like it's not like we're intentionally talking like you're not here. It's just that you're played by the storyteller, so it's easy to forget that you're there.
Trust me, I understand that.
Aaron is just trying to find people's names and noticing that not everyone has their names in Roll20, and also she isn't in Roll20 as a character because she's an NPC.
Right.
I'm bad at names. I think this was established by the fact that Jack was Jeremy for the first month or so that we played Grand Terra.
So anyways, yeah, but no. We are definitely not going there right now. Well, shit. In that case,
It's about this time.
probably still the most defensible place.
It's about this time that Astrid's phone rings.
Okay. She'll go ahead and answer it. Hello?
Hey, you hear Jonas's voice over the line. I got some good news and I got some news.
All right.
When you don't even want to say the word bad, you know it's extra bad.
Good news is I've been keeping an eye on Jack Cross's gang, and they've been gathering up for a meeting with some other folks around. You know, the mall that got shut down for a while because they found a dead body.
Yeah, Gwinnett Place.
Yeah, that one. Well, shut down again for other medical reasons for a while. And I spotted a couple of shady figures moving under total cover away from the light, and some people who were fine moving in the daylight but were carrying big heavy boxes moving in with them.
Into the mall?
Into the mall. Shortly before Jack Cross's folks showed up. And Astrid, he's here.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll pass it on to the rest of them.
I'll keep an eye out best I can.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Lord provides.
Lord provides.
Hangs up.
All right.
Jamie Ditchy Del Pranzo.
Who?
What the heck?
What about lunch?
Oh.
Are we about finished? What was I able to find out anything getting relatively close to the house or not so much?
There were not a lot of people moving on the inside from what you could tell. Not a lot of activity on the inside of the main house.
Okay.
Aside from the guards, from what you're piecing together, these highly Aryan individuals of various persuasions are, from your best guesses, they seem to be trying to keep as low a cover as possible.
Okay. And every time that Paul horribly slices something into the rough, and he looks disgusted with himself and pulls out his golf card and is adjusting his score. He's actually sketching out a map of the course and the houses and making notes on placement of guards and so forth.
All right.
The goal, hopefully, being to have an updated list of notes that we can use to put together a pretty comprehensive sketch of the place.
Yep.
And then I guess if we finish our front nine, we'll head back to the clubhouse.
It's about now that you're winding down your last 8th and 9th hole.
All right, so let's go have food in the clubhouse and just relax for a bit in the shade.
Yeah, and be sure when we get in there. We're probably going to be surrounded by what do you call them? The ones that work for the vampires. This is very quiet conversation.
Hired help.
Hired help, blood bags, people that get killed that aren't vampires that just happen to be in the way.
Right. Okay. Well, for the moment, let's go with.
You're talking about the local security forces.
Yeah, whoever it is. What was your take on that?
Storyteller.
Giant fellow with the silver hair.
Storyteller. What do we know about ghouls, if anything?
Roll me intelligence and occult.
Okay.
The two of us that are vampire hunters.
Yeah, I figured all this.
Three of us.
The three of us that are vampire hunters. For some reason, I had in my head that Knights of St. Adrian were werewolf hunters. I don't know why.
And Knights of St. Adrian are actually primarily demon hunters, but they can specialize in vampires as well.
I was wrong on 2 counts. Intelligence occult.
They have a tattoo specifically for forcing demons into their true form.
Fuck all, apparently.
Except for Astrid.
3 successes.
We all rolled the same number of dice.
Sean and Eamon both know the typical idea of a ghoul as your standard Renfield.
Okay.
But Astrid, you know that ghouls are very loyal and sometimes mildly superhuman soldiers for vampires who can act during the day.
Mm-hmm.
They're not quite vampires, but that also means they're not quite as weak as vampires in a lot of ways.
Okay.
And, with 3 successes, you know that typically ghouls are bonded to individual vampires and are loyal to them and them alone, which usually means that by pitting vampires against each other, you can pit their ghouls against each other too.
Did there seem to be anything other than just from the casual glances we got? Because we 2 of us didn't really notice a whole lot about the security services. Does it seem like they're anything more than just security guards?
They seem to just be security guards, although very specifically hand-picked ones. But probably what you would expect from what you have been led to believe are Nazi vampires.
So yeah, security guards for Nazi vampires? Security guards for Nazi vampires.
So you don't think that the fellow we talked to was a ghoul?
Did he seem like a ghoul at all?
You're asking the wrong person.
It's hard to tell when someone's a ghoul.
I'm so sorry, Astrid. I thought that was in character.
No, I'm sorry. I was asking William.
No, I get that. I get that now. That was on me.
It's hard to tell when someone's a ghoul, but if you had to say someone in the staff is a ghoul, who would it be? You would probably guess the dude that looks like he's the head of security and looks like he could probably bench press a truck.
Okay. Well, if anyone were to be a ghoul, it would be the head of security. But I don't know for sure.
All right, good to know.
As far as we're concerned, anyone who stands between us and a vampire with a gun gets shot. So,
right, but
really matter.
I would prefer not to do a ton of shooting while we're here on the conference.
No. We're not shooting now.
If you see others that you're fairly certain, can you say something like, "Oh, that guy needs to work on his tan," or something like that? He looks at the other 3, kind of like, "Can you clue me in?"
We'll give it a shot.
All right. Well, and he stands back a little bit and shakes his head, looking at his cards. Well, all right there, Sam. I got to tell you, you beat me there fair and square. Well, our agreement was lunch is on me if I perform like I usually do out on the links there. So come on, let's go up on. I'll get us all some sandwiches and some cold, refreshing iced tea. All right.
Sam is like.
That was quite the expositional bow of defeat.
Sam is at like 2 above par. Meanwhile, what was the name? Bill?
Aaron and Esme.
No, you're
Oh yeah, Bill Naughton.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bill is like 12 above par.
Just sort of pat Paul on the back and just sort of arm over shoulder while carrying the thing, looking very much like if Scarface had like a little toady that he was just guiding around. It's
right.
we've become we're Schwarzenegger and DeVitoing it over here.
Meanwhile, Eamon's scorecard, he's sort of like showing it to Astrid, and he's very clearly drawn a reasonably accurate portrait of the head of security, but like with a kukri through the neck and blood everywhere.
Astrid's just like nodding in approval.
I do always love the idea. It's canon all over the place, but I always love the idea of ghouls acting as security for their vampires, because it's like that picture you've seen of Jason Momoa with the two bodyguards in front of him, like half his size. That is generally captured as like, it's like the mini bosses that you have to fight before you get to the final one.
Exactly. Boss. So once we get inside and like sort of start getting food and drink and whatever, I am just basically casing out where are all the places that we're not allowed that we can see, and just sort of trying to determine where they are and what I think might be beyond them based on the structure of the building that we're in.
All right.
Trying to narrow down where the vampire's coffin would.
Give me another wits and larceny just to case the joint.
Yeah,
Can I do that as well?
Yeah, go ahead.
Understanding that no, not all vampires sleep in coffins. That is just the term I'm using for his bit.
Hashtag not all vampires.
Yeah, damn it, you beat me to it.
And I want to take a look at what security systems they have.
Sure.
Can I use willpower on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Powering it up. 1 success.
So, Paul, you notice there's no cameras. Like, none.
Okay.
Your only guess would be that vampires being what they are, they don't want any video evidence of them doing fucked up shit that might get somewhere.
Yeah.
Or
okay.
An entire country club full of La Sombra. Which case you should run. Run faster than you've ever run in your life.
I don't know.
Paul
you don't know what the fuck La Sombra is.
Stereotype.
Go ahead.
We specifically know that these are Aryan vampires, so probably not. If I'm remembering.
That's true. They're a little more Spanish than Third Reichy.
Now I'm trying to think of which group of vampires would be the most Nazi.
Are the Nazi ones?
We know because we know which werewolves are the Nazi ones.
Yeah.
Generally, when it came to nobody led the Nazis, but that's the great thing. All of the worst things that have ever happened in human history in the world of darkness happened by humans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Vampires where none of them had anything to do with it. But that said, the clan that most supported were the Tremere and the Ventru.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the Ventru especially makes sense.
I would have thought of them as being more involved in World War I, but okay. Sorry.
You
you got to realize for the vampires, the difference between World War I and World War II was Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's fair. We did have
Yeah.
Wait, those were two separate things?
Yeah, those are two wars?
Sorry, our machinations spread between the two of them, so it was all kind of one big event for us.
I thought that was two different battles, and we just decided, okay, the trenches didn't work last time. Let's
But
try.
we came up with better trenches.
And bombs. All right,
And
so
things that make for highly offensive jokes.
Yes.
So, with the 2 successes, like I said you find out there's basically no security cameras. There's just guards.
Okay. What about alarms or anything?
Buildings
themselves.
Specifically, no alarms on the. There is an alarm on the front door, and on what you would probably equate on the doors to most of the private rooms. The places there are not alarms, which you find suspicious, is the there's a term. The maintenance shafts that were like in an old-fashioned house would be like the servants tunnels that they would use to sort of get in and out of the house without being noticed.
Sure.
Those suspiciously do not have alarms on them.
Okay.
At all.
No, okay.
They're a dumb waiter somewhere.
Any of those that we can see into in any way?
They're locked and they're like locked up, but you do notice that a lot of these alarms have like notable systems on the outside because it's new technology put into an old house.
Mm-hmm.
But these ones, they have none of that, so it seems pretty clear that they're not alarmed at all.
I desperately need to know if there's a dumbwaiter system in this house.
Yeah.
Makes me
How
happy.
would there be?
Not all old houses had dumbwaiters.
This one does.
But like old plantation house.
And with the one look from Sean, it looks like most of the ground floors, like presentery rooms, are open to the public. Like your typical like your gala, your like big ballroom, your massive like feasting dining room, your like open foyer, your sitting room, etc. All the stuff that you would bring guests into if you were just living in this mansion is open to the public. But when you get back to areas that servants or like private staff would be in primarily is when they start to wall it off and do not cross beyond this point.
Vampires are staying in the servants. But I've deduced.
Or the master bedroom, because that's again.
Right.
They take the dumbwaiter from the master bedroom to the servant.
What's the vibe when we come inside?
I only got a 1. Leave me alone.
You know that sensation of when you enter a like incredibly preserved historic site and everything smells like formaldehyde and sterilization?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
I smell dead people.
Are there any people just hanging out inside, or is it more of the
guards
detail? Okay.
Yeah, it's a security detail.
Were we the only people playing the Lynx, by the way?
There were a couple of people, but when you took a better look at them, they looked more like the security than they did like any civilians.
Okay.
So we're the only people who don't belong here.
It's any other public golf course. It's theoretically public, but there's a very specific kind of people that go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul will wave to the closest security guard as they come in, and then, unless it's immediately obvious where the dining room is, we'll say, "Oh, beautiful day out there! I tell you, I could eat a horse. Can you direct us to your dining room there?"
The dining room is that way.
Oh, thanks, there, fella. Hey,
Thanks,
listen.
Dolph.
I know I'm not from around here, but that doesn't sound like a Georgian accent. Where are you from, there, friend?
No, I'm here in working for the summer.
Oh, that's great.
Weirdest exchange. Foreign exchange.
We are foreign exchange students. We've come to examine how you grow your Crops.
I worked abroad a summer or two when I was growing up. Of course, for me, that was only going to work in the Blockbuster in the next town over. But that's great that you're getting out. How are you liking the States so far?
Very bright. It's a lot of sun, not a lot of winter, even during winter.
Oh, yeah, especially down here. Listen, I tell you, oh, boy, you ought to come up to Minnesota. We got some winter end to spare for you up there. This is a real nice change.
The guy's very clearly just like, stop talking to me and I can go about my business.
Paul gets that.
My very German business.
Paul gets that, but
My
Bill
very German
doesn't.
business.
Eins fein, eins fein.
I says, oh, all right there. Well, listen, I hope you have a good summer. And we'll head in the direction he was pointed.
Never mind the fact that it's fucking autumn.
Yeah, it's like as we walk away, lean over to Paul. You know it's autumn, right?
Yeah, he's but he said he was over here working for the summer, right?
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I tuned out really. Just really wanted to shoot him.
Yeah, well, just keep it in check. How old did the guy look?
Probably like mid-30s, maybe 40s.
And Paul will also say, not only is it not exactly a summer exchange program right now, but unless all these fellas are in some sort of extended education program, I kind of doubt they're on their sophomore year abroad.
I mean, maybe they had to work in the mines right after high school and weren't able to go get a college degree until well into their 20s.
That's a very specific sort of foreign exchange program.
That's fair. That's fair. We have this mumble conversation down the hallway.
Exactly. All right, so
the guards are doing the Scooby-Doo thing where you walk by and the eyes just trace.
All right. I assume there's nobody eating in the dining room.
No.
Okay.
For us. Man, this sausage. Interesting. Blood sausage on the menu. It's weird.
Are there people on staff? That are actually
like
there to cook? Is there a bartender, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or are they security guards standing in for those roles?
You would assume, based on your first and second glance, that it's more the latter.
Okay. All right.
That said, they do have a menu for you, and if you order anything, they will bring you food.
Yeah, I think we will.
You order the blood sausage and a Bloody Mary.
Any of them sitting at tables, or are all the tables empty?
We'll finish with a blood pudding.
Yes.
There's a couple of groups sitting at tables, but again, you get that same sense of here's some security acting like civilians.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because everyone looks too built.
That's a lot of security. This is the KK
right.
Country Club.
Well, we'll sit down kind of a polite distance away. He's not going to grab a table right next to anybody. And then just get, a round of club sandwiches or something, and whatever we can get from the bar.
They have a special on Wiener Schnitzel for the evening.
They do.
I placed my order. You heard it.
Right, so what our plans is to do is, Sean, you're going to figure out some way to bless the water in the emergency sprinkler system. And then we're going to light everything on fire. Bob's your uncle.
That requires so much access that I don't have.
Light the sprinkler system. By the way, Astrid, were you going to share any information at any point?
No. In fact, she seems very distracted right now, and she's not really eating.
Also, not while we're in the club.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably
that
shouldn't have
too.
these discussions within hearing distance of the vampire servants.
No,
But
yeah, I mean, I think the actual conversation at the table is probably Paul nattering on about. I can roll for it if you want, but sort of about issues related to selling plumbing and shower heads and so forth.
Sure. Just to see how well you sell these security guards on you being plumbing supply men.
What it ends up looking like,
and socialize.
like it really looks like Paul is some sort of like underground kingpin, and we're just his security escort. But because we have to blend in, Paul is doing his best to make it look like we're on the same like discussion level when we're absolutely not.
Do either of you want to assist in this?
Sure, I'll try. I will do my best to ask leading questions about the state of plumbing and the materials with which one applies plumbing to a house such as this.
Roll me your manipulation and subterfuge. Or roll socialize, whichever is better, honestly.
Well, if I roll a socialize, I'm rolling -2 dice. If I roll subterfuge, I'm rolling 2 dice. So I'm going to take subterfuge.
And it's all from Paul. It's all stuff like, oh, you know, the best thing about chrome finish there is you can actually make the chrome finish out of stuff that's just really just plastic. Now, if you're trying to sell people on nickel, that stuff looks terrible when you try to use it on plastic. So that actually takes a little bit more. But of course, we mark it up more when you sell it. But, you know, people think, oh, shiny.
And like on the other side of the table is just Sean going, so what about gunmetal gray?
Paul
So
just sort of
basically every
stares at him for a second.
conversation ever.
Paul stares at him for
One
a second.
success.
You don't think you sold them on the fact that you're plumbing salesman, but you may have actually sold them on the fact that you are actually criminal underground, like criminal dealers just here for a golf day and trying to fake like you are plumbing supply men. like they might believe that you're Chicago businessmen at this point.
Okay.
Like,
I'll take it.
like, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I just have nothing. I have nothing. I'm working with nothing.
You know, Sam, the funny thing about gunmetal gray faucets is you only sell them to a very specific type of customer, eh? So, much more through gritted teeth at this point. Okay. All right. So we finish.
Oh, hang on. I need to make a roll.
Oh boy.
Do we have a sense that of how this went?
Which is when the paper football just hits Paul right in the nose.
Oh, Aaron, you got me again there. Oh boy. I tell you fellas are a caution and a half.
I'm sitting here with a look on my face saying, I think we're done.
Do we have a sense, or do our characters have a sense that the perception of us has changed in that way, or not really?
You have the vague sense that the security are keeping an eye on you now, not as just your random civilians, but more as people of interest.
Okay, all right. Then he's
not
gonna
necessarily as like outed you as hunters, but like these people are more than they seem.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll pay in cash, and
that helps.
So basically, they're going to approach us assuming we're smuggling suppliers and they need things for their racist militia.
Oh, I could get you fellas a real discount on a nice chrome finished faucet with a little swastika on the end there.
Oh my God! Holy!
Please don't sell the Nazi
there's not that much market.
Paul.
There's a bit more market than you'd anticipate for that vintage Nazi plumbing.
I absolutely love that we have made a case for why it might have been a better idea to send the blind guy to pretend to golf.
Like, it was physically painful for me not to make that joke.
Yeah, but you have filters that I don't, so.
Holy fuck.
We
There's
leave.
a reason we tag these
Christ.
mature content.
We leave. I think we're done here.
All right. So
I was so glad that Nina did not end up going to talk to these people because he would not have been able to stop things like, okay, see you later.
Holy shit.
My God, dude.
I really want to like script out a movie of this whole thing right now. Oh, it would be great.
Racist Nazi vampires.
It writes itself.
Yep, it really does.
It's
boy.
the fucking what the hell was that movie?
Dead Snow.
No, that's not what I'm thinking of. But yes, the
Nazi zombies.
the World War II one, the comedy World War II one.
Top Secret?
Maybe.
You're gonna have to give us more information.
Inglorious Bastards.
Inglorious Bastards.
First of all, Inglorious Bastards is not a comedy.
There are comedic moments. I
There
will
are
grant
funny
you.
moments, yeah.
But it is not a comedy.
No,
There are
it's not.
funny moments in Friday the 13th. It's
Yeah.
not a comedy.
All right, but you guys leave.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
The funny World War II movie, Inglorious Bastards, as opposed to the not funny World War II movies, all the other ones.
Schindler's List.
okay. I'm not even gonna.
Craig is going to just. Yeah, no.
Kelly's Heroes is legitimately a funny World War II.
Yes, no, it absolutely is.
That is fair.
Yep, no.
At some point, presumably, the entire group of us meet up.
So yeah, we went back. I'm assuming we went back. At least this is where I think Nina was driving since, well.
Yeah, no, I want to roleplay us playing the back nine.
And so it's just right. They were heading back to her place because it is still the most defensible place that they know.
True.
And it's also her place, so she can hang out and do whatever.
Yeah. Probably have sent some sort of text like meet us back at the place from this morning. Something that doesn't give any sort of address or whatever in case they all die in a gunfight. But
that's good.
Holy shit.
Will be clear enough. I don't know. I'm not that smart, but something to that effect.
Text gets sent.
Yeah. Eventually
we get back in the van and start driving.
And then while we're waiting, it's just it's drinking and songwriting for Nina.
Once we're back in the van, Astrid's going to share the information.
So what?
How do you share that?
Jonas called me when we were on the golf course.
Oh, did he now?
Yeah, there's something going down at one of the malls, the old Gwinnett Place Mall. There were people who could go out in the sunlight moving large boxes around, and apparently Jack Cross and his crew showed up.
They get into a fight?
Did Jonas mention any of that?
He didn't mention a fight at the moment, but he said he was going to keep watching.
All right.
Was there a firefight?
He didn't mention that. It's something he's still watching, I believe.
Did he say he wants us to join him there?
I don't think so.
Did we check?
Can I make a wits and empathy to see if anything is being held back?
Sure.
Can I spend a willpower?
Sure.
Or driving very recklessly, I am going to pull out my phone and text. And text.
Paul leans forward and grabs the wheel.
I've got my other hand on the wheel. You're
Just
fine.
kill us all.
You're fine. And I'm just gonna really quickly text Orion. Do you need backup?
So based on your successes and what I rolled privately for Astrid, there's something she's not saying, but you have no idea what it's about.
So, Jonas calls you to tell you that nothing's happening, but he's keeping an eye out?
No, I think he was saying there's suspicious behavior there. I mean, there's something happening because Jack Cross's group's there.
Aye, but I mean, generally, I feel like our standard strategy, even for somebody like Jonas, is let the monsters fight it out and pick up the pieces afterwards. If they haven't even started fighting it out, why does he need to let us know?
That's why that's why I'm asking if he needs help.
A few minutes later, you get a text back.
My text tone goes off. It's the chorus of X gonna give it to you.
The response is only if Astrid wants to head over.
And I look at it. I show it to Eamon.
So what else is going on then?
Where is this mall?
Gwinnett Place Mall.
It's in Gwinnett.
It's on Pleasant Hill
No
Road.
shit.
Sorry. As someone both playing a character and as a person who out of character is nothing with the layout.
Yes.
Is it roughly between where we are and the other group is?
Roughly 3/7 of the people in the
where's Nina's apartment? Because I missed actually arriving at Nina's apartment, so I don't know where that.
And yes, it would be considered on the way.
Okay.
Warehouse district, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I did. I was very not specific because I don't know the area. So
if it's warehouse side of Atlanta, then yes, it's on the way.
It's a warehouse. So it is a Nina lives in a loft above a warehouse that she also rents out the warehouse spaces, recording studio stuff. That way, she's not living above anybody.
Which to me says like Jonesboro.
I'd probably be south. I'd probably be near the airport.
Yeah, like near the near Hartsfield Jackson.
Yeah.
Those are definitely place names that you just said.
Hartsfield Jackson's on the southern side of Atlanta, south side of Atlanta.
Yep.
It's a massive area.
It's the airport.
It's a place where the warehouses ended up going.
And yeah, there tends to be lots of storage facilities and warehouses there because that's where international trade comes through Atlanta.
And yes, going from the plantation to that area would take you past Gwinnett Place Mall.
Yeah, we'd have to come through Gwinnett to get onto 285 to head south. So yeah, it would be on the way. It would be a slight detour, but it would be on the way.
And I apologize. I interrupted Eamon asking Astrid that question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what did he ask her?
What else is going on then?
It's kind of a long story.
We've got a 2.5 hour drive.
So
I haven't even turned on the music.
Good. basically, to shorten it, my brother is a vampire. And I've been looking for him for a while. I've been looking for him for a while. And Jonas just informed me that he is at the mall.
So do you want to go to the mall? And actually, before that, quick question should probably be answered first. Is this a shoot-on-sight situation, or do you want to have a long, heartfelt conversation before shooting?
I don't know.
Put that as an asterisk, then.
I honestly don't know. I've been trying to prepare myself for this for months, but I don't think I'll ever be ready.
Look over at Eamon. If it makes you feel any better, brother, if you were a vampire, I'd shoot you on sight. Just saying, just in case you were ever wondering.
I wasn't, but
can you tell us what your brother looks like? Just
he looks like a storyteller.
He really does.
Just so if we see him either now, if you choose to go to the mall, or another time, that way at least we will know who it is that we're dealing with. What's his name?
Archer.
I'm gonna go out on a shadowy moonlit limb and guess that you might have seen him among the our midnight visitors last night.
Yeah, he was the one with the tattoos like mine.
Paul reaches out to pat her on the arm if she'll let him.
She'll let him.
Oh no, last night was a real kick in the gut for all of us, and if having just seen that and then coming up against seeing him in person, I know that can't be easy. If Jonas doesn't need us at the mall, I'd say it's entirely up to you.
He specifically said only if Astrid wants to come.
I feel like I need to face him at some point. And putting it off is only going to make it worse on me.
Well, I guess then we get Nina and Drew and everybody on board then.
Just let him know, and we can just head that way. It's about halfway between where we are, anyways.
No, and it sounds like it. I mean, it dovetails with everything else that we're doing. I mean, if he's tied in with the Colonel's people at the country club or not, he's tied up in the greater activities in the city, and one way or the other, it's got to have something to do with Colleen. And I guess our group doesn't know that the thing is called the God Machine yet. So,
nope.
Tied in with Colleen and whatever it is, it's the Terminus tendency, whatever's drawing everyone here.
Right, so we go to a shopping centre. We kill all the vampires except Astrid's brother. We let her decide what happens with him, and then
Let's again, let's get there. Jack Cross and his group are there. It's already got the potential to be a powder keg. So let's get there. Let's
do it quiet like.
Maybe we can isolate your brother, get him off to the side. and then see what happens with everything else. Because even if you want time to think about what's going to happen with him, and as long as we're all on board with that, I'm not so sure that Jack Cross is going to be.
Right.
All right. Well, let's get out of this ridiculous golf gear and make some phone calls.
Oh, music to me fucking ears.
Pulling off a shirt while driving the van.
Yep.
Paul looks at Astrid and says, I'll go ahead and call the others. I mean, unless you really want to make that call, but I figure you probably could use a little time in your own headspace right now.
Really disappointed that Nina did not get to see all of them walk in wearing golf gear.
It would be amazing, but I feel like
we're going to the mall to we're going to a war zone now. We got to get battle dressed.
Yeah, from a practical perspective.
You think Eamon didn't sneak a few cell phone pictures of it?
All right, then Paul will text back to Drew. Free to talk.
I assume that we've just been awkwardly sitting in the apartment unless
Nina's dropped about half dressed at the moment, has just a bottle next to her that she's taking occasional drinks from, with her guitar and some sheet music in front of her, and is just in the process of creating at the moment. And whatever everybody else, whatever the other, she's not really paying attention to the other two at the moment.
So this can probably be shortcut, but Drew would probably have tried to ask the girl whose name I keep forgetting.
Colleen.
Colleen, thank you. Would probably have tried to ask Colleen, like, is there anything she needs in terms of like clothes, toiletries, whatever, and just I'm rich, buy it.
So you help her get squared away with whatever she needs.
Because I assume she probably doesn't have a ton given her.
No.
I mean, there's a whole closet full of clothes that are her style in this apartment.
Okay, so we can also raid your apartment for stuff, but just like sort of hand waving, get some of that done.
Drew may not approve of most of the clothing.
Drew will definitely emphatically steer her away from anything with explicitly satanic imagery. Anarchy, whatever, ripped everything, fine.
It's not all Satanist.
I assume your wardrobe has variety.
Yes, there's variety to it.
Yeah. But anything that's not just arcane, but definitively satanic would definitely get a, are you sure that's where you want to go?
Yeah, she's sure that's what she wants, comes yelled from the other room.
You can't be not paying attention and paying attention. Pick a lane.
Flash of, I have the power to cast fireball, bitch.
You burn my clothes, we're gonna have problems.
I don't, because it hurts, but yeah. Okay. Yeah. But probably by that point, yes. Flick the phone on to speaker, main room.
All right. And Paul will say, all right, how mobile are you? And then I think...
Hey, dude. How'd it go?
Not bad. It looks like they've got this golf course and they're using it as cover. We're fairly certain that the vampires there are using either the servants' quarters or the master bedroom. We've got the whole the place mapped out. We can go over all that with you, but we've had a little bit of a situation come up.
Okay.
And then he'll quickly sketch out the what Astrid had passed along to them.
Yep.
So from what I understand, maybe you all could meet us there. We could find out what's going on. If you all have a safe place for our new friend to stay.
That's the emotional equivalent of a
Bring her along.
dog with all the fixins that you just served us right there.
Paul doesn't respond to that. He tried to give the summary in a very matter-of-fact way because Astrid is sitting like a foot and a half from him in the van.
Nina doesn't know that.
No, I know. I totally understand that, but I'm just I'm just letting you know why I letting you as a player know why I'm yes-anding your response.
Yeah, no. Did Eamon just say what I think Eamon said?
What did Eamon just say?
Bring her the fuck along. We're not leaving her off on her own in the cold somewhere while some people can scoop her up whilst we're distracted murdering shite out of them all.
What, so your plan is to bring her directly to them so they can scoop her up while we're there?
Nah, you great knob. My plan is that she sits next to my brother while he's half a mile off shooting heads off, so that she's well away from the action but actually close to somebody what can keep a fucking eye on her.
He sounds very confident in
I really hate that is our best plan. I really like
Eamon immediately gets just the biggest shit-eating grin on his face. Holy shit, I had a plan.
I am almost violently angry that is the best plan that we have, but it actually is.
Hey, as someone who might not be the best at vampire hunting, but is rather smart, can I think of a plan or make a roll for what might be relevant to making a plan? Are we all gonna die if we try and take on an entire shopping mall's worth of vampires?
Well, head to head, yes, probably.
I mean, I will also point out it at least Paul is approaching it from the perspective that he doesn't know anybody here in this town. And if Nina doesn't know anybody to leave her with, then...
I don't...
Yes, no. I understand what's being expressed in terms of why people are doing things. I was asking the GM if I could get a roll to think of something or have something brought up.
Roll me...
an idea roll.
Intelligence and... Intelligence and composure.
Oh, composure? Cool.
Yeah.
Can I spend willpower on that?
No, because this is just you just trying to think of something quickly.
2 successes.
Also 2.
So it is definitely the plan that does not involve trusting anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Like of all the plans that you have that do not involve involving anyone outside of this circle, that is probably the best one that you've got, because it allows everyone to get into the action and not have to not keep an eye on her, and puts her at a maximum safe distance. But at the same time, you don't know how quickly situations can degenerate.
Yeah, it also involves us entrusting her to the guy who was about to cosplay 2 mules for Sister Sarah on a golf course.
If we're committed to this loud approach, I'm not fantastic in a direct fight, but I could stick with the back line and provide emergency support. I think vampires are not. I can burn things. And
Yeah, they can burn real well. Yes. That is
I'm more than happy to have Drew and Colleen sitting back with me. Alternatively, the group of us that are in the van can just go, and you two can just stay there with Colleen.
And I hate everything about it, but most of all the fact that it really is the best thing we've got right now.
Is there? You said they've set up in a shopping mall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just us, right? We've got other. We're helping someone out.
Yeah. Do we know anything we could use to our advantage beyond hoping there's not too many of them that we get overrun?
I mean, is this an active shopping? Which shopping mall do I know anything about this shopping mall?
Gwinnett Place is the shady shopping mall. It's the place that I shit you not, in real life got shut down for a while because they found a dead body.
Right.
Is
it active currently?
It's active. It's about half abandoned. It is active, but
in this story,
the World of Darkness, William, is it active?
And what you do know right now is that while it is typically active, it has recently had to shut down temporarily.
Okay, so it is currently shut down.
Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, perfect there. Better than not. I don't know if I know that I do that I don't, because Nina is not stupid and keep this kind of stuff just around. But let me look at friends and neighbors really quick, because I've not used that yet.
Yep.
Temporary safe house, social bonus, endowments. Okay. So this is going to sound maybe pushing it, and I'm okay with a no. Okay. But do I know anyone in the union who might, be particularly concerned about being self-sufficient in case of the city losing power and having large amounts of gasoline?
Do you know a survival prepper in the union?
I
yes,
feel like
you know a survival prepper in the union.
I'm going to make a couple calls, and since it's somebody who's in this, is in the know, basically, hey, we have a severe need of gasoline to handle a flammable threat.
Well, I can get you about 2 drums worth, and we're talking like standing drums. But you're gonna have to deal with deploying it yourself, because I ain't got the manpower for that.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's amazing. Okay, right. I will. Just let me know. Text me where to pick it up.
All right, I'll text you an address.
All right, I've got good news, people. Are we still on speakerphone?
I don't know if
we
Paul's
have
on speakerphone.
Yeah, I would assume yes.
We have two. We have 2 big ass barrels of gasoline. You guys are all gun and explosive experts. I'm sure you can figure out something to do with that.
I mean, you can't see it right now, but I've got a big grin on my face.
I'm glad you said grin.
I mean, one of those two, but I am a man of
Okay.
cloth.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Anyways, so all right, we just need to pick it up, and then look, I can only put so many plans here. I'm not good on tactical battle plans. I got us the means. You guys figure out how to put it to use.
So they're presumably not just hanging out in different stores. They're probably going somewhere central, like food court, water fixture. Haven't been to Gwinnett, but malls are kind of same everywhere. Food court, water fixture, somewhere central if they're gonna have a meeting. Problem with inside a mall is sniper fire is not going to penetrate the outside of the building, and it's very possible to get in subtly from side entrances, but it is hard to avoid all the cameras unless they've shut down the cameras for their own purposes. So what we sounds like priority one is isolate Astrid's brother. So independently, what's done about that can be determined separate from main group of probably Nazi vampires. And then we need to get flammable things to somewhere flammable where it would also be good to know whether or not oil fire is going to be the best thing for the types of fire suppression they have. Malls have decent fire exits, but because they deal with large crowds, but if you can bar or congest the nearest exit, and vampires don't like fire, that could be a thing. But all of that requires a fair amount of preemptive access to the facilities that it doesn't seem like we have.
That all depends on how quiet we want to be.
Yeah, if we can be subtle carrying oil drums, yeah.
For my for my purposes, at least on a tactical analysis level, my intention was to get a hold of Orion and wherever he's at, get an update once we get there, and then determine where the best place to pin in our vampire coven is going to be. But there's a lot of information we don't have and won't have until we get there. So making plans...
I'll look up a map of stores. Sometimes there's places that a lot of malls, if a store is out of business, there's no store in a unit, they'll paper over the walls. So that's a
And I assume Orion can give us an update on where he saw Jack Cross and his buddies and where he saw these guys moving cargo.
Yeah, but if we wait until we get there rather than calling him now, we'll get a little bit accurate information.
Yep.
Also, my biggest question is, how are you going to transport 2 big cans of petrol on the back of your motorcycle?
I didn't drive 2 people. I believe we have a vehicle. Because
we have one of the vehicles.
You Ubered to the recording studio.
I can anyone know a place in town that rents out U-Hauls or trucks?
Did you guys...
I can spot a bill.
What? I'm trying to recall what you guys did with the vampire truck.
He's still in our.
We don't need to.
No, not the vampire. The truck that they brought in.
You guys wiped it down and rolled it in the river.
Yeah,
Okay.
we disposed of it.
We don't need to do any of that because you guys are coming and picking us up.
No, the plan was I thought you all were on the other side of it.
Yeah,
That'll take twice
I
as long for us to
misunderstood
get there.
That part. Well,
Yeah, go to a Home Depot and rent a pickup or something. Or does your buddy have a truck that you can borrow?
Actually,
Drew.
let me see.
said you
Let me
have
see
money,
where.
right?
Let me
Sorry,
see
I
where
missed that
survival-
because multiple people were talking. I have a what, right?
You have money, right?
Yeah, I can. I don't have any connections.
We're
to,
going to the shittiest used car dealership we can find for a truck.
And-
Renting puts paper trails down.
Yeah.
Paying cash for shitty ass trucks is a lot less paper trail.
William, given my resources and backstory, I think it's fair to say I carry a decent amount of cash on me.
Yeah, and with 5 dots of resources, a shitty ass truck is actually not that big of a drop for you. You wouldn't even have to roll.
Okay. Yeah. I was mostly asking, do I have enough to not have to access my credit card or whatever?
Yeah, no, you can. You probably have like $3,000 in cash on you.
If not between
If you guys know somewhere we
5
can
and my 3.
get one under the radar, all the better. My IDs are fake anyway. I don't legally exist, but that's harder to deal with.
Yeah, no, we're good. I'm sure I know some really, really disreputable, super shady car dealership.
I wasn't kidding when I said you got $2 or $3,000. Sure, slap it down. He will give you a truck.
Right.
Yeah.
He will probably ask if we want the drugs removed first.
It's a bonus if you want it, but I didn't check.
So, yep. So we will buy a terrible, unmarked, unregistered truck for cash to haul our massive amounts of gasoline. We aren't on any. We just didn't get ourselves put on whatever NSA watch lists we're not currently on by virtue of this podcast.
You get a 1980 Ford Bronco
with 256,000 miles on it.
Yep.
Please.
Yeah, but only
tell-
about 60,000 of those miles are on the current engine, so it's fine.
Right.
What was that, Jeremy?
Please tell me that it's got the Dixie flag on the
Spray painted across the back. Yeah.
I was gonna say the hood, but the back works too.
Yay! Now we're racist rednecks.
No. We are driving we are driving a racist redneck bomb, essentially.
We've turned
right up their
Camouflage
asses.
is a thing.
camouflage.
So there is a culture of the desperate second hand where you got a car that's got a problem. But it still drives.
It's it's like rust red otherwise.
It's got a Hillary elect Hillary for president sticker on the back of it too.
No, because that's how you send people to prison.
Trust me, those stickers exist. They're all over.
Oh no, it absolutely
we don't.
I was imagining something like something good and classy, like Hate Not Heritage, which I have actually seen as a bumper sticker for sale, by the way.
God. But no, yeah, it's like this rust red 1980 Bronco with the Dixie flag on the back trailer or on the back gate.
Nice. All right, we have a vehicle. We just need to go pick up some gasoline and then make contact with our snipers. And that's when I turn to the car dealership guy and say, "Okay, see you later."
So,
I think that's it for today, folks.
So, as you gather up your tubs of gasoline in this beat-up racist Bronco, as you meet up with the other half of your squad at technically at your cell, with the other half of your cell at Gwinnett Place Mall, as you pull up in the parking lot, which is mostly deserted, as you step out, you hear a whistle, and your eyes are immediately drawn to the familiar form of Jonas across the parking lot on his motorcycle as he slowly rolls up to the group of you and sort of looks across. What in the hell did you just bring me?
Toys.
Solutions.
And that is where we're going to end for the week.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.